Curious about what Waikiki looks like right now? As part of our Waikiki Now series, we're showing you what Waikiki looks like right now. For more Hawaii videos, make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you're alerted every time we post a new video. Aloha, I'm Mariam and this is Yes to Hawaii. We make Hawaii videos, take the guesswork out of planning your trip. As always, I'll leave timestamps in the description box below, so feel free to skip around the video for the parts that you came here for. We're starting our walk here at the Hilton Waikiki on Kuhio Avenue. Backed by popular request, this is our Waikiki Now series, and today we're focusing on Kuhio Avenue hotels. Just to my left over here is the Aloha Resort, one of my favorite hotels. They have a really nice restaurant and area there called Swell Bar. There's also an oceanarium on the ground floor. Up to my left over here is Kuhio Avenue, still this main drag that I'm walking down. On the left-hand side is an ABC store, one of many ABC stores. So if you're staying in this area and you want to grab some quick bites to eat, maybe breakfast muffins, snacks, anything like that, sunscreen, you can pick it up from this store here, along with any of the other ABC stores here in Waikiki. I've had a lot of subscribers ask me specifically, what are some other places to get hotels, not those oceanfront hotels on Kalakaua Avenue, but perhaps some more affordable options. So in today's video, we're focusing specifically on the major hotels that are on Kuhio Avenue. To my left over here is Kuhio Village Tower. So this is more of like a hotel slash condo slash apartment Airbnb, but I thought it'd be important to mention I've had a couple friends of friends stay there. On the left over here are some food trucks. Lots of options, all the photos are out there of course. We're gonna keep on walking a little bit farther down. On my right hand side is the Waikiki Park Heights. I hope this video kind of helps you get your bearings. You kind of know where your hotel is located in reference to other things that are in the Waikiki area, what food is nearby, what major sundry stores are nearby. Up here on the left hand side is Maguro spot, coming up here on this main corner here. Good spot to grab a quick bite to eat. We're going to keep walking. Again, this drag is still Kuhio Avenue, this two-way street. Coming up here on the left-hand side is the Pacific Monarch Hotel. Now this hotel, again, still on Kuhio Avenue, that's the main way to differentiate the two streets, as Kalakaua is a major one-way street and Kuhio Avenue is this two-way street, as you can see here on my right-hand side. Pacific Monarch Hotel. Just past this Pacific Monarch Hotel is another hotel, which I'll point out here in a second, the Bamboo, up here on the left, 2425. So as you can see, this main area here, Kuhio Avenue, does get busy. If you're starting a little bit closer to the zoo, it's a little bit less crowded, but if you go a little bit farther into the main center area of Waikiki, it does get busier. So these hotels on Kuhio Avenue are typically more affordable than, say, the oceanfront hotels that are on Kalakaua Avenue. Hotel Bamboo. We'll keep going a little bit farther down. As you can see on the right-hand side, there's some smaller shops, a few eateries, if you go a little bit closer to the Aloha Canal, that's gonna be more apartments. So typically gonna be hotels here on Kuhio Avenue. On my left-hand side here, coming up in this building over here, there's some smaller shops. There's Smokies, which is a smoke shop. There's a couple small eateries right here. There's a salon, a small place to get souvenirs and so forth. So we'll go a little bit farther down, and then coming up at this major intersection here, I'm about to point out on the right hand side a new apartment building. So on the right hand side over here is Lilia Waikiki, not a hotel of course, but it is a apartment complex, and that is the newest apartment complex in Waikiki, and I believe it's the past 20 years. So super nice, gorgeous building. And just to the right here, that beige building is an ABC store, again one of many ABC stores. Over here on the left-hand side is Ohana East Hotel, coming up here on the left. On the ground floor, they have a restaurant there called Appetito, really good Italian food, good pizza. And then over here, I'm pointing out again that Lilia Waikiki on the right-hand side. So we'll cross the street over here. I'm gonna point out a few other places. So again, on the left, Ohana East Hotel, and then that restaurant that I mentioned before, Appetito on the ground floor. Really good wine selection as well. We'll go a little bit further down this specific street. So again, still on Kuhio Avenue. Coming up ahead, there is a coin laundry. So if you're staying in Waikiki for multiple weeks and perhaps your hotel doesn't have a laundry service or laundry machines, over here on the left is the coin laundry. We'll go a little bit farther down, and coming up ahead is going to be the International Marketplace. As you can see on the left-hand side over here, we've got a couple stores. If you want to do bike rentals or scooter rentals, go-go rental is here on the left-hand side. We'll head a little bit farther down, and just here where those cars are coming into, that is going to be the parking entrance for the International Marketplace. If you're getting parking at the International Marketplace and you end up shopping there, make sure to get your parking validated. As of the time of this filming, they still do validate parking. The rates can change later on depending on when you're watching this video, but definitely something important to note. On the right-hand side here is the Hilton Garden Inn, and as you've noticed, there are a few Hiltons here in Waikiki. If you watch my previous Waikiki Now video walks, I've typically started at the Hilton Village, but as you saw at the beginning of this video, that was the Hilton Waikiki, and on the right was the Hilton Garden Inn. Here I'm pointing out more of the International Marketplace. As you can see, it's pretty big. There's a Saks Fifth Avenue, that's the main flagship store that's here on the left-hand side. As we go a little bit farther up, I'll also point out a couple coffee shops and some other eating areas that you can go to in the International Marketplace. Over here, we're now getting more into the central area of Waikiki. Coming up ahead a couple streets down from here is the intersection of Kuhio and Seaside. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see a couple shops, those little blue umbrellas over here on the right, and then a little bit farther down, you'll see a few other shops and places to grab a quick bite to eat. On the left-hand side here is Kona Coffee Purveyors. As you can see, still getting pretty busy. International Marketplace. On this ground level as well on the left-hand side, there is these smaller restaurants here. There's a really yummy Mexican restaurant here on the left-hand side. There's a couple other eaters when you go inside. This is kind of like almost like a food court, I would say, but not like a typical mall food court grab and go. It's a full sit-down area specific to those specific restaurants. This is the Kuhio Food Hall. We'll go a little bit farther down here. As you can see, it's getting very, very busy here in Waikiki. It's May at the time of this filming. On the right-hand side, a few more shops. On the left-hand side over here, another ABC store. This one's a bit bigger than the other ones that I pointed out earlier. But again, great place if you want to grab some quick souvenirs, food and snacks and whatnot. On the left-hand side over here is the Lalo Hotel. As I've mentioned in previous Waikiki Now videos, one of my favorite restaurants is in here, the Hideout. Really great for craft cocktails, really great for their happy hour and good bites to eat. We'll go a little bit farther down here too. So on the left-hand side, still on the left-hand, oh, where am I going? Okay, Murakami Udon. So I'm pointing out Murakami Udon. The line isn't that long today, but Murakami Udon, the line moves quickly, really good udon if you haven't been there already. I'm pointing out Paia Fish Market, a really good place for lunch and dinner. If you take a left here down this little alleyway, that's Duke's Lane, so if you want to grab souvenirs, they've also got a kiosk for that as well. So coming up ahead at the very end of this intersection is Kuhio Avenue and Seaside. I'm pointing out Duke's Lane right now, another quick place to grab a bite to eat. Basalt is a restaurant that's in there. Nordstrom Rack if you want to grab maybe a quick change of clothes. So that little flash that you saw was a bird that almost took me out as I'm filming this for you guys. On the left-hand side, we've got American Savings Bank, great if you want to do a little bit of money exchange. A little bit farther down, there's also a Starbucks. The Starbucks here, it opens up pretty early, so if you're getting up super early if you're traveling from the East Coast because of the time difference, or maybe you have a tour that's coming up super early in the morning, this Starbucks is open pretty early. You can pop in there, grab a quick coffee or tea and maybe a quick pastry. There's also, not shown in this video, but there's also a Jamba Juice here on the corner. So this intersection coming up ahead right here is the intersection of Kuhio and Seaside Avenue. If you were to take a left down that Kuhio and Seaside Avenue, you'll be seeing a Ross Dress for Less store. There's a restaurant called Heavenly, which is super tasty, and there's also an H&M clothing store as well. So we're still walking down this main intersection. Coming up ahead over here on the left-hand side where you see that green roof is a McDonald's. And then over here, what I'm pointing out, the Marine Surf Waikiki. We're gonna head a little bit further down. There's, like I said, the McDonald's here on the left-hand side. There's also a smaller nail salon over here too. We're still on Kuhio Avenue. So as you can see, again, getting more into the central part of Waikiki, a lot busier, a lot more people walking around. There's also a gelato store at the end of this little intersection here. And this intersection that you see is the intersection of Kuhio Avenue and Royal Hawaiian Avenue. That's a gelato place. I love gelato. Gelato is one of my favorite things here. Not only in Waikiki, but just in general. So again, intersection of Kuhio Avenue and Royal Hawaiian Avenue. We're gonna walk a little bit farther down. This on the left-hand side used to be a swimsuit store, but unfortunately they have either moved or went out of business. It's unfortunate. A lot of the shops in Waikiki, some of the smaller ones, have definitely either gone out of business, moved, or things like that. On the left-hand side, we've got the Waikiki Malia Hotel. There's also a restaurant slash bar that's in the ground level called Rivals. So this hotel had quite a few renovations. This is the, again, Waikiki Malia by Outrigger. On the right-hand side over here is the Courtyard Marriott. Coming up ahead, which I'm pretty sure I will point out here in a second, is the IHOP. So super delicious if you want to grab a quick breakfast at any time of the day. Again, yes, it's a chain restaurant, but it is open and it's pretty tasty. I love their chocolate chip pancakes. And then coming up here, this intersection that you see is going to be the intersection of KUHIO and Lewers Street. If you've watched our previous videos, this Whaler store on the left-hand side, unfortunately, they have gone out of business. I'm not sure what store that's going to be, but perhaps another store will take its place in the next few months. And on the right-hand side, which I just passed, is another ABC store. So just another one of many stores that have gone out of business. So we're going to keep walking a little bit farther down, and on the left-hand side over here, this gigantic property on the left is the Ritz-Carlton. Really gorgeous. Now, it's a mixture of both hotel rooms and also essentially residences where people live there full-time. I'll get a little bit closer here in a second, and I'll look up to this specific property. It's huge. So we're starting right about now at the beginning of the Ritz. As you can see, it is huge. This property is sprawling. I've never actually been in the Ritz other than their like cafe and their pool area, but wow, it's really gorgeous. So as you can see, the lawns are a little bit more manicured on the left-hand side over here. Coming up ahead, which I'll point out here, there's a small market on the left-hand side. I'm pretty sure it's a ABC store kind of thing. So here you can get some coffee, tea, snacks, sunscreen, same thing as like the ABC stores, Island Country Markets here on the left-hand side. We're gonna head a little bit farther down, and as you can see, we're still walking, and Ritz is still on our left-hand side. Still walking, gorgeous, gorgeous property. These floor-to-ceiling windows are pretty stunning. I'd be curious to see what the inside of the rooms looks like, and just kind of seeing the inside vibe of the specific property. We're gonna head a little bit farther down, and still the Ritz is on my left-hand side. And on the right-hand side over here is the city bus stop. Gonna head a little bit farther down, still the Ritz-Carlton. Other than this property, I do hope this video does help you guys kind of see where everything is. I know if you're coming to Waikiki for the first time and you're staying on KUHIO Avenue, perhaps maybe you're not sure where everything is, and kind of maps that you're looking at maybe make things appear a lot farther away. But as you can see, I'm just walking again on foot here in Waikiki, and there's a lot that you can do and see on KUHIO Avenue. If you're interested in seeing more of Waikiki, you can check out our previous video from Waikiki Now, which I show parts of KALAKAUA Avenue. That's going to be the main street that's here in Waikiki. But I hope this kind of helps you see what Waikiki looks like right now. And as you've watched our previous videos, as the months pass, Waikiki has been getting busier. And I've mentioned in a video before, but after restrictions have ceased at the end of March in terms of travel restrictions, mask mandates, and so forth, we have gotten a lot more tourism here in Waikiki. I've noticed just walking just around Waikiki, it's got a lot more busier. So back to the KUHIO Avenue tour. This intersection coming up ahead is the intersection of KUHIO Avenue and Olohana Street. And as you can see here, coming up on the left-hand side, I'll point out as we get closer, is the LaCroix Hotel. So this, if you were here in Waikiki years past, this used to be the Waikiki Gateway Hotel, but now it is the Hotel LaCroix. Again, Olohana Street. Some of you might have tours or pickups here at this location. So typically, again, not always, but typically whenever people are being picked up at this hotel, they pick up on this street, Olohana Street, kind of where that white van is. And the reason for that is there's a little pull-in area that guests can board the buses that they're on. On the right-hand side here is the Holiday Inn Express, another popular property on KUHIO Avenue. So again, LaCroix is on my left-hand side. And as you can see, this KUHIO Avenue, the reason why, again, a lot of those buses will pick up on Olohana Street is this is a major street. So if they pull in here to go pick up guests, it kind of blocks traffic. But on Olohana Street, because it's a side street, that's why a lot of hotels are there. On the right-hand side, hotel pickups are there. On the right-hand side is the Ambassador Hotel. We're getting too close to the intersection of KUHIO and Namahana Street. I hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if there's any other Hawaii videos you'd like to see, definitely leave them in the comments down below.